Zizzy.
MCZ has raided.
ASMR stream, please. Alright. Big old son of a view. So welcome in, Fox. Welcome in, Techie Rob. Toastman X. Everyone wants to see your hair, man, and they want ASMR. Okay, so my first question is, this isn't the goblins I remember. Fragmental Stew, it's coming. But welcome in, Zizzy. Thank you for the raid. And Seacross, hello, welcome in. How far did you get in Hitchhiker's Guide? What chapter did you finish? Did you finish the whole book? That's the important question. Goblins are coming. Oh god. Because I think last time I was watching you at like you got about halfway through. Okay, was that chapter 29? Chapter 28? I mean, I totally read the whole thing. Oh yeah, of course. But yeah, but which chapter did you get to? Like, did you finish? She got deep. Because I've got Hitchhiker's Guide. I can do Hitchhiker's Guide ASMR if you want. This feels like a leading question. No. I thought I could continue your Hitchhiker's Guide for a chapter. If you wanted. I don't want to steal your gimmick. Chapter 14, okay. So are you saying you finished chapter 14 or up to chapter 14? So chapter 14 was the Heart of Gold fled on silently through the night of space, now on conventional photon drive. Is that the chapter? Em said there might be hair here too. We're talking about hair a bit, maybe hair. There's a little bit of hair. Well, chapter 14 is quite... Amy doesn't remember what she did in her stream. I mean, fair enough. It's... like, especially when you get near the end of the stream, you kind of get streamer brain. Yep, 14. Okay. All right, I'll read chapter 14 then. I gotta. That's where we're up to. Okay, let me try and get this in a way that I can. We got Harry. Oh god. Okay. Hello everybody. Do I have any relaxing music? Hang on. Let's have a look. Fireplace. 12 hours of relaxing fireplace. Do your best Amy impression? Okay. Okay, so I've got some fireplace going. Got me in the book. Okay, so chapter 14. My best Emmy impression. Oh, okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Emmy. I've got hair. There you go. Okay. I've decided to grow out my beard, but it's slow going. It's take your time and learn. You are so gruff. Learn your neckline. So I don't bother anymore. But when it was shorter, I it might be a bit quiet. Oh, it's okay. I don't want it to overwhelm me. And also, I've got like a compressor that makes it quiet anyway when I speak. But thank you, Foct, for the hydrate. So, who said that? I thought MZZ had stopped streaming. No. Good. Yeah. Sorry, take it, Rob. Water like an Emmy. I don't know. My hair isn't absorbent. I mean, it's not. There you go. Ooh, jeez. I just got it all over myself. Okay. It was. I'll cop to that. Okay. So welcome to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. Chapter 14. The heart of gold fled on silently through the night of space, now unconventional photon drive. Its crew of four were ill at ease, knowing that they had brought together not of their own volition or by simple coincidence, but by some curious perversion of physics, as if relationships between people were susceptible to the same laws that govern the relationships between atoms and molecules. As the ship's artificial night closed in, they were each grateful to retire to separate cabins and try to rationalize their thoughts. Trillian couldn't sleep. She sat on the couch and stared at a small cage which contained her last and only links with Earth. Two white mice that she insisted Zaphod let her bring. She had expected never to see the planet again, but she was disturbed by her negative reaction to the news of the planet's destruction. How much guide are we getting through? Do you need me to take a third shift? Oh, maybe, Cameron. I was just going to read a chapter or two. Wholesome and ASMR tags. Oh, I haven't. MC's voice got deeper. Oh, no. Hey, Roach Pirate. How's it going? I'm currently reading Hitchhiker's Guide. It seemed remote and unreal, as she could find no thoughts to think about. She watched the mice scurrying around the cage, running furiously in their little plastic treadwheels till they occupied her whole attention. Suddenly she shook herself and went back onto the bridge to watch over the tiny flashing lights and figures that charted the ship's progress through the void. She wished she knew what it was she was trying not to think about. Zaphod couldn't sleep. He also wished he knew what it was he wouldn't let himself think about. For as long as he could remember, he'd suffered from a vague, nagging feeling of being not all there. Most of the time he was able to put this thought aside and not worry about it. But it had been reawakened by the sudden, inexplicable arrival of Ford Prefect and Arthur Dent. Somehow it seemed to conform to a pattern that he couldn't see. Ford couldn't sleep. He was too excited about being back on the road again. 15 years of virtual imprisonment were over, just as he was finally beginning to give up hope. Knocking about with Zaphod for a bit promised to be a lot of fun. Though there seemed to be something faintly odd about his semi-cousin that he couldn't put his finger on. The fact that he had become president of the galaxy was frankly astonishing, as was the manner of his leaving the post. Was there a reason behind it? There would be no point in asking Zaphod. He never appeared to have a reason for anything he did at all. He had turned unfathomably into an art form. He attacked everything in life with a mixture of extraordinary genius and naive incompetence, and it was often difficult to tell which was which. Arthur slept. He was terribly tired. What have I missed? So, Rush Pirate, hello. More, gasp, I know. The guide that never ends. Get everyone to keep it going. Maybe. We get a guide train going. Hello, Mr. Wolflight. You're reading 2 now? Yeah. I see what you're doing. Yeah, exactly. It's a plague. Did I dream that you told me to wake up on stream? No, I said to be quiet and not to wake. There was a tap at Zaphod's door. It slid open. Zaphod? Yeah? Oh, maybe I should do a voice. Zaphod? Yeah? Trillian stood outlined in the oval of light. I think we just found what you came to look for. Hey, yeah? Hey, it's the Maybe shirt? I had to save the beagle. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, the beagle, that's right. Ford gave up the attempt to sleep. In the corner of his cabin was a small computer screen and a keyboard. He sat at it for a while and tried to compose a new entry for the guide on the subject of Vogons, but couldn't think of anything vitriolic enough, so he gave that up too, wrapped a robe around himself, and went for a walk to the bridge. Those voices sure are voices. As he entered, he was surprised to see 2 figures hunched excitedly over the instruments. See, the ship's about to move into orbit, Julian was saying. There's a planet out there. It's at the exact coordinates you predicted. Zaphod heard a noise and looked up. Ford, he hissed. Hey, come and take a look at this. Ford went over and had a look at it. It was a series of figures flickering over his screen. You recognize those galactic coordinates? Said Zaphod. No. I'll give you a clue. Computer. Hi, gang, enthused the computer. This is getting real sociable, isn't it? Shut up, said Zaphod. Show up the screens. Light on the bridge sank. Pinpoints of light played across the console and reflected in 4 pairs of eyes that stared up at the external monitor screens. There was absolutely nothing on them. Recognize that? Whispered Zaphod. Ford frowned. No, he said. What do you see? Nothing. Recognize it? What are you talking about? We're in the Horsehead Nebula. One whole vast dark cloud. And I was meant to recognize that from a blank screen? Inside a dark nebula is the only place in the galaxy you'd see a dark screen. Very good. Zaphod laughed. Ha 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 ha. He was clearly very excited about something, almost childishly so. Hey, this is really terrific. This is just far too much. What's so great about being stuck in a dust cloud? Said Ford. What would you reckon to find here? Urged Zaphod. Nothing. No stars? No planets? No. Computer? Shouted Zaphod. Rotate angular vision through 180 degrees and don't talk about it. For a moment, it seemed that nothing was happening. Then a brightness glowed at the edge of the huge screen. A red star, the size of a small plate, crept across it, followed quickly by another one. A binary system. Then a vast crescent sliced into the corner of the picture. A red glare shading away into deep black, the night side of a planet. I've found it, cried Zaphod, thumping the console. I've found it. Ford stared at it in astonishment. What is it? That, said Zaphod, is the most improbable planet that ever existed. Oh, okay, so chapter 15 is an excerpt from the Hitchhiker's Guide. I'm suddenly less offended by the Amy impersonation. Very Punch and Judy, oh no. Someone put your stream on my phone while I was napping. It wasn't that different from my space-themed sleep story, so I didn't notice for a bit. No, that was great. I went back to bed and kept listening. Oh, okay, so chapter 15 from the Hitchhiker's Guide. Excerpt from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, page 634,784, section 5A. Entry Magrathea. Am I doing the whole thing? No, is this 15 was just like 2 extra pages, or 1 page, so I'll just do one extra page. What is going on? No, I'm not going to do the whole thing. The book is quite big. I don't know if you knew this. Far back in the mists of ancient time, in the great and glorious days of the former galactic empire, life was wild, rich, and largely tax-free. Mighty starships plied their way between exotic suns, seeking adventure and reward amongst the furthest reaches of galactic space. In those days, spirits were brave, the stakes were high, men were real men, women were real women, and small fairy creatures from Alpha Centauri were real small creatures from Alpha Centauri. And all dared to brave unknown terrors, to do mighty deeds, to boldly split infinitives that no man had split before. And thus was the empire forged. Hitchhiker's planning. Get a load of this guy, I know. Many men, of course, became extremely rich. But this was perfectly natural, and nothing to be ashamed of, because no one was really poor. At least no one worth speaking of. And for all the richest and most successful merchants' life inevitably became rather dull and niggly. And they began to imagine that this was therefore the fault of the worlds they'd settled on. None of them was entirely satisfactory. Either the climate wasn't quite right in the later part of the afternoon, or the day was half an hour too long, or the sea was exactly the wrong shade of pink. And thus were created the conditions for a staggering new form of specialist industry, custom-made luxury planet building. The home of this industry was the planet Magrathea, where hyperspatial engineers sucked matter through white holes in space to form it into dream planets. Gold planets, platinum planets, soft rubber planets with lots of earthquakes. All lovingly made to meet the exacting standards that the galaxy's richest men naturally came to expect. But so successful was this venture that Magrathea itself soon became the richest planet of all time, and the rest of the galaxy was reduced to abject poverty. And so the system broke down, the empire collapsed, and a long sullen silence settled over 1 billion hungry worlds, disturbed only by the pen-scratchings of scholars, as they laboured into the night over smug little treaties on the value of planned political economy. Magrathea itself disappeared, and its memory soon passed into the obscurity of legend. In these enlightened days, of course, no one believes a word of it. Well, there you go. And that was The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams, read by Sonneveld. So thank you again, Emmy, for the raid, and thank you for spending how long was it? Like 5 hours reading Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Sorry for stealing your gimmick briefly. So I might Adam's Family Institute sue this man. Oh no.